Hey y'all, Caitlin from the WoolJewel Podcast here. I have decided to do a little short video of some stash enhancements from the past few weeks. I'm going to make these my wool booty videos. I may or may not be doing more because a lot of times I just run out of time on the podcast and I don't really like to just show things that I buy if I don't have plans for them because there's not really much to say other than like, look what I got. So if anybody's interested in the stuff that I've been buying, the stuff that I'm into, this is where I'm gonna have all of that. So I have trying not to be buying too much for my stash recently, but I've gotten a lot of gifts, just some trips I've gone on. I wanted souvenirs. So I have quite a bit to share, and the most recent episode was running kind of long, so I decided to just put this in its own thing. The first thing I want to share that I didn't get to on my most recent episode was a little meetup that I got to have with Casey from the Casey's Creative Musings podcast. She is so amazing. She's so cute in person, and we had the best time. We got together and had a big ol' American breakfast, which I don't get that often here in Germany, and it was delicious and amazing. So we just had a couple hours to sit and chat and knit, and then we walked around a little bit, and yeah, it was a really lovely time. So thank you, Casey, for meeting up with me, and it was super fun. So she was really generous, and she brought me a gift. She brought me this amazing hot pink yarn. So this is from Flying Goat Farm. Their website is flyinggoatfarm.com. The label says luxurious fiber, really fine superwash merino sock yarn. So it is really fine and it feels luxurious and I love it. I think that it's 2-ply. Yes, it is. So obviously I love it. I cannot wait to figure out what to do with this. I think it's 100% merino, but it says sock yarn, which I don't really use 100% merino for sock yarn, but I might try it with this. I don't know. I don't really have plans yet, but I love it. Thank you so much, Casey. She also gifted me this adorable little stitch marker. It's a mushroom that she made herself. It is so cute. So I can't wait to use that. Okay, another gift that I got this week was from my friend Steph, who, if you watched my most recent episode, you will have met her, and she came to visit me all the way from Texas, and she's also visiting a friend in the UK, so she popped down here for a few days for a quick visit, and she brought me this amazing single-ply yarn. So it's it looks like it's coming up kind of blue on camera, but it's really this beautiful purple color, and the colorway is matcha lavender cream. So this is made by Morningside Road Fiber, 100% superwash merino. It's single ply and it's really soft. And I was really excited because I already have a skein of sock yarn in my stash that's these exact colors except speckled. So I'm thinking about putting them together somehow. I have no idea in what, but I loved that it totally matched that other skein. Thank you, Steph. I love it. I can't wait to use it. So while Steph was here, we went on a little quest for yarn, and I was also shopping around for a sewing machine, and we went to the local sewing shop in like the next village over from mine. And even though online it said they were open, they were actually closed. So then we decided to just kind of find somewhere else we could go shopping. So we went to a different yarn shop in Quietersbach, Germany, which is like super tiny. But there is a local yarn shop there, and it is all commercial yarn. Like there's no hand dyed or anything there. But they were clearing out a lot of their stuff because they're making room for the fall and winter yarns, which is like crazy because it's July and I feel like we haven't even had summer yet. Anyway, they were just clearing out a lot of space. So they had these balls of merino. This is Schockenmeyer merino, and this is a DK weight, but all of these balls of yarn were €250. So I got a sweater's quantity of merino wool for 25 euro. It was crazy. I feel like I should have bought more than that and like bought different colors, but really this was the only color that was kind of speaking to me at the time, and I already have several sweaters quantities of yarn sitting in my shelf. I didn't need more, but I'm really excited that we found that, and we would not have gone to that shop if the sewing shop hadn't been closed, so that was really exciting. Steph bought a lot of really fun stuff too. That was a great find. I also got a couple balls of another color to probably make a sweater for my niece who turned 1 this summer, and I want to make her a sweater for winter. Okay, so another trip that I went on while my in-laws were here. Ben's parents came to visit us for a couple weeks. We took a trip to Munich, and one of my favorite yarn shops here in Europe that I found is Die Mercerie, and I'll put the website up. They have lots of really great yarn. That's where I get my Madeline Tosh if I need Madeline Tosh. But I found this yarn, Bio Balance by BC Garn. They're calling this color taupe, but to me it's more of like a brownish grayish purple. I don't know, it has kind of a purpley feel to it, but it is beautiful. It's really soft, and it is 55% wool, 45% cotton. And I've never used this kind of blend before, like half wool, half cotton. So we'll see how it goes. But each of these 50 gram skeins was 5 or 6 euro. So I was able to get a sweater's quantity for less than 40 euro, which was amazing. It has really good yardage. So this is a 50 gram skein, and it's 225 meters. I don't really know what that translates to in yards, but they had a sample in the shop, and it was this big oversized like hoodie type sweater, and that only took 6 50 gram skeins. So I thought that was pretty great, and I knew I wasn't gonna make something that big, so I just went ahead and bought 6 anyways. So I don't know what I'm gonna make with it, but when I find a really good deal like that, I usually buy a sweater's quantity. Yeah, and so on a totally separate trip to Strasbourg with Ben's parents, this was the week before Steph came. I just really like Strasbourg, so I went twice. I bought this yarn, and we talked a little bit about that shop in my most recent episode. So they sell their yarn by weight or by yardage, kind of like when you buy fabric. They keep all the yarn on cones, and then you just tell them the amount that you want, and then they cake it up for you. So I thought that was a really fun way to shop for yarn, because there was just like tons of colors, and I liked the way it was all displayed. It's beautiful. I wish I'd taken a picture. Anyway, so I'll put the info for that shop. If you're ever in Strasbourg, check them out. This is a 100% alpaca, and I think it's kind of between a fingering and a sport weight. I'm not really sure. It's 2-ply. It's got gorgeous heathered colors in there. I love it. So all the info is in French, so I can't really tell you a whole lot about it, but I think that I got about 150 grams, and so I think that's like over 600 yards. Yeah, so I'm excited. I don't really have exact plans for this, but I just thought it was really pretty, and I like the way alpaca drapes, so I'll probably put it in a shawl or something. All right, I've still got more to show you. I have this crazy thing. So this is by Yarn Cafe Creations, the girls in the Yarn Cafe. If you haven't seen their podcast, which I'm sure you have, it's a mother-daughter duo, and they each have separate yarn dyeing businesses. I got a message from Clara from Studio C, who dyes her own yarn, but she ordered this for herself and found it was a little out of her comfort zone, which doesn't surprise me because I don't know a whole lot of knitters that would like comfortably knit with this, but she thought that it would go great in my Find Your Fade shawl, which I'm doing as a Find Your Horcrux shawl. So I've got a different color yarn for each of the Horcruxes and Voldemort. And she's so right, like this is so perfect. So I can't decide if I'm gonna replace one of the yarns I already have that's in there, or if I'll just throw this in there and make up another reason for there to be yet another color in my shawl. But thank you, Clara. I love this. So she asked me if I wanted to do a swap with her for this so that I could put it in my Find Your Fade. And so I sent her a skein of yarn that was in my stash that had some stellina in it that I just decided like I'm probably not gonna use, and she liked it. So we did a little swap, and yeah, I've got this. And I'm finding that a lot of times when I do swaps or am gifted yarn, I'm noticing a trend that people love to give me this bright green color, which I'm loving. So I've got a bunch of these one-off hand-dyed skeins of bright green. So if this doesn't end up in my Find Your Fade shawl, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm thinking the Marled Magic sweater, except do like mostly these crazy greens that people have been gifting me. And I also haven't tried Yarn Cafe Creations yarn before. I've ordered from Dragon Horde Yarn, which is the other yarn business from the girls in the Yarn Cafe. So I'm excited to try this. So thanks so much, Clara. Okay, so the final thing I want to share is some roving, some hand-dyed roving that I bought specifically for spinning, which I'm really excited about. If you watched my episode with Steph, I talked a little bit about how I'm getting more into spinning now, and it's been super fun. So I have a ton of undyed roving in my house, but I was getting super bored spinning up just plain natural white wool. I have different types of fibers, but it was getting pretty boring. And I don't have my dye equipment set up right now, and so I decided it would be kind of too much of a hassle to dye my own to spin it. And I wanted to try some new types of fibers, so I sent a message to the local spinning guru. Her name's Karen. I took a lesson with her last fall. She taught me to spin. She dyes her own roving as well. So I picked up this braid from her. This is 100 grams of BFL, which I think 100 grams is about 4 ounces. So can anybody tell me why roving is always done in ounces, but then yarn is always done in grams? So this is 100 grams. She sells it by grams, and she's got great prices. I don't think she has an online shop. All of hers are 10 euro for 100 grams. So this is BFL, non-superwash. I'm really excited about it. I love the colors. It's really squishy. I haven't tried spinning it yet, but I can't wait to get started. I don't have enough spindles right now to start this yet. So maybe I just need a new spindle. The other roving I bought from her, I am keeping in this bag because I've already started it as a project. This is my bag from Stina, who donated an identical bag for my Great Unravel knit along. So thank you, Stina, and I am super excited because this bag matches this roving perfectly. So I'll show you what I've spun up so far. Right? Doesn't it match perfectly? It's like pastel pink and mint and this peachy color. I love it. And I think I'm gonna apply this with a gold or a silver thread because I don't want to lose the length and ply it with itself, and the colors are just so pretty. I think that just a gold or a silver thread will really bring them out. And here's what the roving looks like, kind of balled up. I'm sorry it's not as pretty. I already pre-drafted it, so yeah. But I'll just insert a picture that I took of the roving before I tore it all up. So I had another swap I did recently with Allison from the For Knit's Sakes podcast, which I'll link below. She challenged herself this year to knit only from her stash, which I think is a great challenge for a lot of reasons. If you're trying to save money, or if you just want to kind of push yourself to use the stuff that's been on your shelf forever, create more space so that you can fill it up with more yarn. Yeah, I just think it's a great challenge in general. Recently, I've been thinking when I choose a project, really try to see if I can use something from my stash instead of buying something new. And it's been working. Really trying to put things together in my stash for new cast-ons and stuff. So I thought since she was doing that, and I'm going to try to more consciously use my stash, not exclusively, but I'm trying. I asked her if she wanted to do a stash only swap because if you're knitting only from your stash, you just might not be inspired by what you have, or like me, I feel like I have a lot of yarn that's like really nice, but I'm just not as into the colors anymore, or I just don't really have any ideas for it. So I had a few things that I felt might be more appreciated by her than by me, and she didn't have a whole lot of like full skeins she wanted to swap, so she sent me all these minis for my sock yarn blanket, my granny stripe crochet blanket, which I'm really excited about. Look what she sent me. My favorite color. It's perfect. This is just what I needed because I got really excited about my blanket and I used up all my scraps and all my minis and stuff like instantly. I really wanted to keep working on it, but I was just out of little yarn scraps. So this was perfect. It was a really fun swap. So if you guys are interested in doing a swap like that, I might be into coordinating a stash only swap if you're into it. So leave a comment, let me know, or like this video, like give it a thumbs up if you think that that's a good idea. We just decided to swap the same weight of yarn, so I think it ended up being like a little over 200 grams or something like that. So I got lots of minis out of it. Yeah, so I think that all of these colors are gonna go into my blanket so beautifully. It's a really nice selection of colors. I don't know what any of them are, and that is totally fine by me. I don't really need a list. Like if it's just going in my crochet blanket, I don't really need to know what it is. She also sent me this super cool Notions bag. I love the fabric. I'm really into this like kind of Southwestern vibe stuff. So Allison lives in El Paso, and I will link to her podcast. Go check it out. She is a talented knitter, and she lived in Germany where I am now. Like she used to live here, and she moved to El Paso recently, and we never really crossed paths, but we have a friend in common, Melanie. Hi, Melanie. I've been teaching Melanie to knit and just basically geeking out over yarn with her. So she told me about Allison, and so that's how we got in touch. So definitely go check her out. And I think that is it for stash enhancements. Thanks for watching my wool booty video. So if this video gets a good amount of likes or comments or whatever, I will keep doing them. Or if you think it's better to just like throw it into the main episode and have longer episodes, I can do that too. Or if this is just like totally unnecessary, I don't need to be making these videos at all. So just let me know if you're interested. If you want to subscribe to my channel, you can be updated on when I upload any types of videos. Summer is just a little weird for me, so I'm thinking in the fall I'm going to be getting back to a regular weekly schedule. So if you guys have been doing any wool shopping, leave a comment and let me know maybe like your most recent purchase that you're excited about, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!